Flo Villeneuve's with us here on set for the French newspapers, and they're talking economic issues today, aren't they? François Hollande, just a week after the government returning back from the big summer holidays here in France.
That's right. Le Monde has this on their front page today. Pension reform, the budget, growth, Hollande's impossible equations, says Le Monde. Now, a lot of the French press is likening Hollande to kind of a tightrope walker, walking this very thin line, trying to please everybody, but upsetting a lot of people in the process. And Libération says that one thing that's really upset a lot of people is the government's pension reform. One step forward, two step backwards, says Libération. Basically, to finance the budget deficit due to France's pension system, the government has decided it won't increase taxes across the board, but it will increase social security contributions. So Libération says the president is running the risk of being very contradictory here, because for a long time he's been saying that France needs to improve its competitiveness by cutting the cost of labor, and this goes against that. Now, on top of that, the government isn't being really crystal clear. It's saying nothing is written in stone for now, and partially this is due to the fact that the Prime Minister, Jean-Marc is going to be meeting with trade union representatives today.
And perhaps not surprisingly, right-leaning Le Figaro, they're talking a lot about that meeting, aren't they?
That's right. Hérault is being very careful not to upset anybody, says Le Figaro. Now, so he's meeting trade union representatives today. Yesterday, he met with business owner representatives. And Le Figaro says he's telling everybody what they want to hear. Now, basically, to counterbalance this increase in social security contributions, the government is going to lower another contribution that business owners have to pay. And Les Echos, the business daily, says this is a surprising gesture from the government. But a lot of papers say this is kind of like magic math. You give some, you take some. It's kind of unclear exactly how the government is going to come out even here. Nobody really understands the government's logic, whether it's business representatives or trade unions. And we can see that on the front page of L'Humanité, the communist newspaper, that says we're going to have to push hard. The government is being evasive, according to L'Humanité. A big demonstration is planned for September 10th, and L'Humanité calls for as many people as possible to hit the streets.
Something completely different now. Left-leaning Libération. They're investigating relations between the police and people living in France's public housing projects in the suburbs.
That's right, les banlieues. We hear about them a lot in the news. And, Libération sends reporters to Seine-Saint-Denis, so the area just outside of Paris, where there are a lot of these housing projects. So we've seen some violence, including over the summer. Now, during his campaign, François Hollande promised that there would be improvements, but according to Libération, nothing has changed since the socialists came to power. There's still a profound lack of trust between the police and locals. Now, this has a lot to do with the fact that the police doesn't really have enough financial means, according to Libération, but also because, well, a lot of their policy is about repression and not building real trust and links with locals, and especially young people.
OK, now the French paper is also focusing, of course, on the international talks regarding possible military strikes on Syria.
That's right. It's on the front page of Le Figaro. Washington, London and Paris are preparing a response. Le Parisien, meanwhile, points out that whether or not the UN gives its green light, this intervention, well, it's probably going to take place. And Le Parisien reminds us this would be a scenario very similar to 2003 and the intervention in Iraq.
And finally, Atlantico, looking at one of the negative side effects of our modern digital age. What's this about?
Well, that's right. We're connected all the time, but especially we're busy, which means that, well, we're not bored anymore, which could seem like a good thing, because boredom often is seen as being a bad thing, has negative connotations, seen as being a waste of time. But Atlantico says it's actually very important to be bored. It's really good for our psyche. So what have we lost by losing boredom? Well, Atlantico takes a closer look and asks some psychologists, actually. Yeah. And they say that, well, by losing boredom, we lose a portal to our creativity and self-discovery. So do yourself a favor and be bored every now and then.
You can just watch your press reviews.
Yeah, I watch it every day. Tune in. I'm here every day.
Solve the problem, wouldn't it? Going to be in trouble now.
Flo,
thanks very much, Flo Villeneuve, with the French newspaper review here on France 24. I'm still alive, just. Latest news coming up after the break. Stay with us if you can.
Is Paris losing its status as a financial hub? With the world of finance consolidating, France is seen to be losing ground as only a handful of cities emerge as global financial centres.
Don't miss Beyond Business today, 5:45 p.m. Paris time on France 24.